This is the brief on the Eternal Assembly and the serious challenge Mu Chen's got facing him in The Great Ruler. Okay, so Mu Chen's rushing to get ready for this huge event, the Eternal Assembly, right? It's where this legendary thing, the Nirvana Great Divine Body, a supreme artifact that grants immense power. Well, it's expected to finally pick a master after 10,000 years. So yeah, nearly half the top experts in the supreme world, they're going to be there. Let's quickly unpack Mu Chen's pretty tough spot here. First, Mu Chen's stepping into this competition maybe not quite at peak power. Even after absorbing like tens of billions of drops of sovereign liquid, which is basically the measure of power and wealth, he hasn't hit that late-stage heaven sovereign, spirit grade yet. He even admits this is way more pressure than the Futu clan's assembly he handled earlier. Second, the competition he's facing is just fierce. We're talking the highest-ranked challengers. They're all late-stage heaven sovereign, Immortal grade. That's a whole level above Mu Chen's current spirit grade. And the absolute #1 contender? That's Mohi Yu, from the powerful Mohi tribe. He's considered the overwhelming favorite. Get this, with 20 billion drops of sovereign liquid wagered on him winning. Finally, the Mohi tribe, they're pretty much saying this whole thing, including the divine body, belongs to them. Mohi Yu actually confronted Mu Chen directly, telling him the Nirvana Great Divine Body is their tribal treasure, and they absolutely will not let anyone else claim it. Doesn't matter that Mu Chen bravely bet a whole billion drops on himself. So, with the Mohi tribe dead set on taking out all the other contenders, Mu Chen is definitely staring down the toughest challenge of his journey so far.
This is the brief on Chapter 607 of The Great Ruler. Basically, what's happening in the Heavenly Sovereign battle. Okay, so Mu Chen, he's just arrived in Wangu City. He's there for this massive event, the Eternal Gathering, right? His goal is to get the Eternal Great Sovereign Body. You gotta understand, this thing is like the only way for him to hit that ultimate saint-tier Heavenly Sovereign level. Super important stuff. So what's he actually facing? Well, it's a tough road ahead, let me tell ya. First, there's some serious clan politics going on. See, to get the backup he needs against the rival Mohi clan, who also want this body, his powerful mom, King Yanjing, and the Great Elder, they basically laid down this huge condition. If Mu Chen actually manages to win the body, boom, he has to become the Futu clan chief. Immediately. Talk about pressure, huh? Second, things get even trickier. The demon race? Yeah, they're making moves near the borders. And this means all the big military powers, the heavy hitters of the Great Thousand World, they're stuck defending. So Mu Chen, he's kind of isolated. He can't call in those legendary allies like Flame Emperor Xiaoyan or martial ancestor Lin Dong. He's really got to rely solely on the Futu clan now. And finally, the Eternal Gathering itself is just intense. We're talking 108 competitors duking it out for this one body. That includes some really scary rivals, like Mohi Yu, and even established saint-tier heavenly sovereigns. And it all goes down at the Wangu Pagoda, this sacred place built by the legendary Eternal Emperor, someone whose power level was way beyond even saint tier. So yeah, the stage is set for something absolutely epic. It all comes down to this massive showdown at the Wangu Pagoda, where Mu Chen has to face down 107 rivals and the might of the Mohi clan to claim his destiny.
All right. This is the brief on that absolutely brutal competition happening inside the Wangu Pagoda for the Eternal Great Sovereign Body. So picture this. The ancient Wangu Pagoda, it's open. And that means a super high-stakes, really ruthless tournament has kicked off. It's for anyone who's managed to master the eternal solar deity body. Think of that as like the absolute peak of spiritual power, right? Last one standing, they grab the ultimate prize. Pretty intense stuff. Okay, let's jump in to the 3 key things you gotta know about this savage trial. First off, the pagoda itself. It's basically designed for pure elimination. They even call it a poisonous insect breeding room. Kinda grim, huh? See, to even move on from any stage, a warrior has to take out half the other fighters. Yeah, so only the absolute strongest are gonna make it through. Second, and this is where it gets kind of wild, the way you power up. When a warrior gets defeated and kicked out, The Pagoda literally extracts their immortal radiance. That's like their core spiritual energy, their life essence, you know? And get this, our main guy, Chen, he's strategically absorbing these cores. He's already beaten 4 rivals and gained a huge amount of strength, like getting 2 major upgrades to his own body. And finally, we just saw Chen showing off some serious dominance. He quickly took down the 6th-ranked fighter, Qin Dong-hai, and this guy's a mid-stage immortal heavenly sovereign, which is, well, it's a really high power level. Qin Dong-hai threw some powerful high-level techniques, but Chen just neutralized them, effortlessly. Then, bam, sealed and booted him out super fast using his own 8-deity pagoda technique. Just impressive. So yeah, the Wangu Pagoda. It's way more than just a trial. It's this brutal system where the strong literally absorb the essence of the fallen to grab that ultimate prize. All right, this is the brief on Chen's massive showdown in the Wangu Pagoda. So we're jumping right into the final, nail-biting stages of the Heavenly Emperor's contest. Our guy, Chen, he's up against the absolute strongest contender left, Shuro. And Shuro, he's a late-stage Heavenly Sovereign, basically top-tier powerful. This whole fight is really set up to push Chen right to his breaking point. Okay, so how did Chen even get to this point and, survive? Let's hit the 3 key things you gotta know. First off, Chen really powered up before this. He took down some tough opponents, snagged 3 of these things called Immortal cores, think super potent power sources. He then merged them into his special cultivation form, the Eternal Solar Body, boosting his strength way up, almost like his master's level. Pretty huge. But even with that boost, second point, Shuro was just wow. He faced Chen's first big attack, this powerful flame thing, and basically shut it down using just raw physical strength. Blocked Chen's energy cold. That first clash, it showed a scary difference in power, and Chen had to rethink things, immediately. So finally, Chen pulls out his ace, the legendary 3 Purity Art. He summons 2 clones of himself. Then, bam, he uses triple integration, merging all 3 bodies into one. This fusion skyrockets his internal energy, his chi, bringing him temporarily up to par with a real late-stage Heavenly Sovereign. This completely flipped the script, forcing Shuro onto the defensive and making him unleash his ultimate move, the Arhat Divine Palm. So yeah, the stage is set for an absolutely epic clash between these 2 insane techniques.
This is the brief on the massive battle between Chen and Ruo. Okay, so this source covers this really intense clash inside the God Pagoda. Think of it as a special trial dimension. We've got 2 absolute top-tier masters, Chen and Ruo, late-phase heaven sovereigns, pushing way past their limits. They had to pull out some seriously legendary techniques. First, things got explosive fast. Ruo threw down his Arhat God Palm, a really top-tier move, but Chen met it head-on with his 8 Divinity Pagoda. Instant stalemate. This kind of forced Ruo to escalate, bringing out his super-tough golden-purple eternal solar god body. Second, Chen had to go all out. He called in his Black Dragon army for backup, okay? Then, and this is wild, he cranked his personal power formations, the Astral War runes, to an insane 68 million. That power stunned everyone and forced Ruo's hand. He had to unleash his ultimate move, the Vajra Great Wheel, which is legendary tier stuff. Finally, Chen did get the win, but wow, it cost him. His army got pretty banged up, needing 300 million drops of supreme liquid. That's a ton of spiritual energy to recover. But here's the kicker. Chen saw his own eternal solar god body now had this new golden pattern. That's huge. It signals a big breakthrough towards his goal, the eternal great divine body. So, by pushing way past his limits, Chen beat a huge rival and took a massive step toward his final spiritual transformation.